Hello again, it's Mr. Plumley, and we are looking at physical geography, your second part. So I'm going to take out this second page. We're looking at the intro of it, what we're going to be covering this year. It says physical geography number 4. Make sure it's number 4 because that's the one you need. All right, so we're looking at the different parts of man's physical geography. How does that work though? So we'll look at the human family. We'll look at the physical structure and individuality of the southern continents. Remember, we've got the equator right here. We have northern and southern hemispheres and northern and southern continents based upon their location. Also, physical structure and individuality of the northern continents. And then lastly, state geography, because every nation is made up of states. As you can see with our own United States, how many states do we have? Anybody know? Who needs to answer a question? Emmanuel, how many states do we have? That's right, we've got 50 states. All right, as is shown on our flag by and represented by the stars here. Take a look. Don't forget we have a flag. There it is. Beautiful flag. But 50 states. All right, so we're gonna get into this right now. So this one won't be quite as long as last one. So it says, what are we looking about the human family, right? What does that look like? We'll bring it in a little bit closer so that y'all can see. I wanna make sure. All right, so the human family. We're gonna look at the different races of mankind, but this is not what you think. It's not what we see today, where people base race upon their skin color or upon somewhere where they're from. This is going to be a biblical definition of what race is, and it goes back to Noah and the flood. Noah had 3 sons, right? Anybody name them? Can you? Stephanie, what are their names? Any idea? They are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So, the races of mankind came out of those 3 sons. So we'll write them down. We'll say the Hamitic, these are fun words, fun names. The Semitic, so from the Hamitic, Ham, Semitic, Shem, and then the Japhetic. From that, let's see. So we have Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the Hamitic, Semitic, and Japhetic. Now let's look at, what about the nations of man? What kind of nations do we have? So we'll write number 2 here. Nations of man. Basically 2 types. You're ruled either tyrannically or you're self-governed. And those 2 extremes, shall we say, are either monarchy or republic. There's different variations, but basically those are, it's either top down or bottom up. Top down is the monarchy, tyrannical. Bottom up is the republic, and that's representative government. All right, and then lastly, we're going to look at unity and diversity. Misspelled that one. We'll erase this too. Unity and diversity of, what was it? Culture, that's what I thought. All right, so that makes up the human family. Now let's keep going. We're going to look at physical structure and individuality of the southern continents. What makes them unique? Their physical structure and individuality. So, number one, we've got the first one. As I mentioned, Australia. G'day, mate. It is known as the continent of antiquity. So, continent of antiquity. What does antiquity mean? Anybody recognize a word in there? Antique, old, something that's very old. Now we have also Africa. What is it? It is a continent of animal life. There's such diversity there. I've never been to Africa, but I really want to go. I'm going to go on safari. I think it'd be awesome. And then lastly, South America. What do you think South America is known for? It's going to be continent of vegetation. Why? Because there's such diversity of vegetation in South America. It's absolutely amazing. All right, now we're going to go to the physical and individuality of the northern continents. That's what we're on. We're in North America. Now, Asia, right? It is continent of origins, where everything got started. So if you look in the Bible gets started in Asia. So that's why we have it as the continent of origins. Next is Europe. And some of y'all may know already know some of this. Europe is the continent. Can you guess it? Continent. We're going to put the label of this. Continent of Christian development. That's what it is. It's the continent of Christian development, because you'll see as we look through history and look in physical geography as we go along that there is a progression, and Christianity is developed in Europe and then spreads to the world. And lastly, we have North America. Can you guess what North America is known as? Anybody? I'm not seeing hands. Oh, that's right. I can't see you. It is known as the fullest expression of a Christian civilization. So we'll just call it Christian civil government down here. Uh-oh. I was about to do my G in print, and everything else in cursive. All right, fullest expression of Christian civil government we have in North America. And lastly, we're going to look at state geography. How does that have to do with things, right? We're looking at the geography of a specific state. So, for instance, at the very end of the year, we'll look at physical geography of California, of our own state. How has God made it? What was his plan, design, and purpose for it? All right, so we look at state geography. Number one, we'll look at physical structure. Number 2, we'll look at products of the soil. What's grown, which is something that's very important. Number 3, we'll look at the arts and manufacturing. Because you're like, how do the arts and manufacturing go together? Well, it's the people who design and think up new ideas that get into business manufacturing those new things. Then also industry, commerce, and trade. So industry, commerce, and trade. And then we'll look at probably major cities and counties. That's counties, not countries, counties. And then lastly, we'll look at local self-government. All right, so here we are. Let me straighten this up for you, Senator, up a little bit. Let me go over this real quick and make sure you can probably read all of it. So we've got races of mankind, the Hamitic, Semitic, and Japhetic. That one's kind of ugly. We'll rewrite him. There. We have nations of men, so either monarchy or republic, unity and diversity of cultures. We've got Australia, the continent of antiquity, Africa, the continent of animal life, and South America, the continent of vegetation. Over here, we've got Asia, the continent of origins, Europe, the continent of Christian development, North America, Christian civil government. And then lastly, over here, we've got physical structure, products of the soil, arts and manufacturing, industry, commerce, and trade, major cities and counties, and then local self-government. And that's what we'll be taking a look at on man's side, man's geography. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I'm going to move out of the way so you can pause it and write something down if you need to. But other than that, have a wonderful day and talk to you later.